So I'm making this video as a follow-up for my 1x30 sander. So I had a few people asking, okay, what kind of hardware I use and that kind of stuff. So we're gonna go over that. Stay tuned. So like I said, main focus, the 1x30 sharpener. But I also thought I'd go over just some of the stuff that I carry with me on a day-to-day basis. So somebody was saying, oh, well, you should bring an inverter so you're not using the customer's power. Already have that covered. 400 watt inverter. Little bit taxing when you put the leather belt on this guy, but at the same time, it's still under. Eventual goal is going to be getting an 1000 watt inverter, just for the fact of being able to run a few extra, maybe some lighting or stuff like that. But for now, that works. I have the extension cord. So this goes to the battery on the truck, and then the extension cord comes back here, plug in right here, and sharpen away. Other things I carry, PPE, always make sure to have that. Dry erase notebook, my sanding belts, of course, the ever important oil rag. This is by far one of the most things I see people not do enough, is oiling up their knives and tools. And that makes a huge difference as far as like scissors not being able to cut as efficiently, or having a lot of friction, or knives getting rusty. I had a knife a long time ago that before I started oiling knives religiously, it was that thing would, you'd blink and it would get rusty. So I wipe it down every morning just as kind of a force of habit. And I do that for every customer's knife, and I use the Frog Lube now, which is really nice. I've got valve grinding compound for like the push reels, so you just paint a little bit on the actual spindle and adjust it, and it redoes the edge on those. I've got a light, I've got a set of pliers, just some basic stuff in here to just make sure that I can do what I need to do. Alrighty. And now for the fun part. We'll dive down and we'll look at this a little bit further. So, now that we've dove down, you can see, okay, it's pretty much just two boards screwed together. Not terribly hard, and then I put a vibration pad, which was just a anti-slip for like a mouse or something along those lines. You can get it pretty cheap typically. But how I have it secured is, so I took the feet that originally came with it, drilled the hole through the center with just, I think it was like a 6 or an 8 mil drill bit. Don't know the exact sizes off my head, but basically found the hardware that was the exact same size as the smaller hole on the inside of those rubber grommets. Put a washer on each side and ran a bolt through with a nylock, and it stays really secure. I'm very, very happy with the results. As well as, so underneath it, you can see that orange block, which that's just a sanding belt cleaner. So if I need to clean a belt in the pinch and I don't have my other block, I can just pull that one out, clean up the block, throw it right back in there. Mostly just acts as a nice little spacer. So that's why I have it in there. And the cutout for the armature, because it needed to be cut out in order to be able to get access to all of that. So did that. And then I had another person asking me, okay, why is the angle guide sloped that way? So the biggest reason for that is I do edge trailing. So the belt is going this way away from me, so that if I'm working behind it, I don't have to worry about the blade shooting back and possibly hitting me in the gut, in the femoral artery, or something along those lines. I know it's a little bit over the top worry, but at the same time, much rather not worry about it. So the safer I can be as, okay, it possibly grabbing a knife and throwing it, okay, the worst I'm out is paying for a new knife for the customer, which never have had that happen, probably will never have that happen, but I'd much rather it be paying for a new knife versus paying for some health insurance and then possibly even a new knife because now there's blood on the knife. So don't want to go through that hassle. So I have the angle guide facing that way, so the edge just glides over the belt as we're going. So you can set it. The angle guides on the side aren't very accurate, so I'll typically pull out my phone, use the level app on that, go level, and then see, okay, what it's reading at. And I've been finding that to be very accurate as far as the angle needed. So, other things with that, I mean, there's not too much as far, so it's just for attaching the sharpener to the boards, it's just a bolt probably about 2-3 inches long would be my guess, somewhere in there. 2 sets of washers and an eye lock, just to make sure that it stays nice and in place. I did have to modify this housing just so that it would sit a little better. So had to Dremel out there and there so it would get past the washers. But if you don't use that cover, not really a big deal. So it's mostly just, okay, it makes it a little bit quieter, so I'm not as noisy. But all in all, that's all the sharpener is. If you have any other questions, let me know specifically so I can address them. But that's how I built the sharpener that I use today, and love the setup. I mean, eventually I might make a metal housing, but I kind of like wood. I've always had a knack for woodworking and that kind of stuff, so this just takes me back and gives me some good memories of when I was younger and was like in wood shop and that kind of stuff. So it's why I enjoyed using the wood frame. Is it the strongest? Not necessarily. Would a metal frame be stronger? Maybe. But at the same time, I like the way it looks. It's unique like I am. So, hope this helps. If you have any other questions, just leave them down below and let me know. We'll go right back up top and I'll see you there. So, that's going to wrap it up for the update on the 1x30, running you through a little bit of hardware. Like I said, it's probably an M6 or an M8 nut and screw combo, but at the same time, your mileage may vary. It may be standard, it may be metric. Just pick and choose and make something work. That's been the biggest thing for me, is a lot of people get overwhelmed with projects. So just start it. It's one of those things, it may not be perfect the first time, but you can slowly adjust it to being perfect. Is this perfect? Not necessarily. Does it work? Absolutely. I love how this thing works. Is it the most perfect, refined? No, not even slightly. It took me maybe an afternoon to do this setup. So hopefully that helps you. If you have any questions, like I said, leave them down below. And also, if you liked the video, make sure to leave it a thumbs up. So consider subscribing if you're not already, and welcome to you as well. And I hope you stay happy and healthy. Take care. No, I don't have to, but I'm gonna have outtakes just because they're kind of fun. So if you get a giggle, leave it a thumbs up. It's no trouble to me, but if you enjoy it, let me know. I'll keep including them in videos if so. Alrighty, so we're primarily going to be can't talk apparently.